Welcome everyone to the Coaching Corner with Kirk. Man, we have it on Wednesdays right at 12:30. It's the middle of the middle, I love to say, because, it's the middle of the week, middle of the middle day of the week. And this is a space where we get a chance to come aside and talk and ask questions, check in with one another. When the coach calls you to the corner, when the bell rings, or you're in the fight, the bell rings, you go back to the corner, you get somebody to work on that cut above your eye. You get somebody to work on those shoulders, the ice pack on your ribs because you've been taking some blows in the fight. It's a good time to step aside for a second and just rest. Well, the Coaching Corner took a little break for the entire summer. In fact, we intend to bring it back, but slightly different. And no matter where you're watching, if you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, we have the link in the description, kirkondugent.live/school. That's the community group that I am privileged to host and serve as the owner of. I'll tell you what, we have a large group in Zoom right now from that community. And in fact, we have been we've been talking for the last, I see you. We've been talking for the last, 20 or so minutes, 30 minutes, just kind of going over what their questions are, learning from one another. And of course, because it's Zoom, we can actually see one another as well, which is pretty cool. Hey, what's going on, Gary Jones? Gary Jones, you should be in the community. You should be over there. You're already a member of the community. Should you find yourself in Zoom? But I do want to share with you a couple of things real quick, and I'm going to get out of your way. I'm going to make several, what's the term? Offers. I don't want to say appeals, but I want to give you several invitations to join the community. Now, one of the questions I often get is, man, I just don't have a studio. I don't have a space. I don't have anything defined where I can actually record. And so I want to share with you some thoughts and notes that I've put together underneath this topic of the video recording setup you didn't know you had. The video recording setup you didn't know you had. Now, I want to start by sharing this. I started on YouTube as a fitness vlogger. Anybody remember that? I see that all hands are down because you didn't know this. I know David Hunt knows this because he just has known me that long. But I started as a fitness vlogger, and I was trying to lose weight. I had that ominous conversation. I don't know if anybody else has experienced this, where I go into the doctor's office. This is around 2013, and the doctor says to me, bruh, your numbers aren't bad, but you're trending in a way that we're going to have some tough conversations pretty soon. You need to lose some weight. I was about 240 pounds at the time. Definitely did not like that. Didn't like that conversation. I actually felt fine. I still could get up and go, but just moving around with a little more weight than I anticipated. And so as I headed back to South Africa, that's where we were living at the time. We were in the States for what they call home leave, and we do all of our doctor's appointments whenever we were on home leave. So heading back to South Africa on that long flight, I say to my wife, now I've got to do something, and I'm thinking I'm going to take this insanity challenge. And she was like, you really going to do it? I said, I think I'm going to try it. And she was like, okay, if you're going to do it, I'm going to do it. And so the Insanity Challenges was done by Shaun T, created through Beachbody platform. And it is a 60-day, super intense, high intensity interval training series. The workouts range from about 35 minutes to almost an hour daily. And you got some break, I think once a week or something like that. But whatever it was death warmed over, right? So, and the way that I was going to be able to be, I guess, consistent and have some accountability. What's going on, Micah? What's going on, folks? I just see some of you chiming in the chat. But the way that I was going to have some consistency and accountability while I was doing this challenge was to vlog my way through it. Hence, this was my first foray into YouTube. And I learned a lot. I would record a little clip talking to the camera as I was getting up for the day. It was really early in the morning. I would look at the camera and just be like, I really don't want to do this, but I'm going to go do it because I committed to do it. And I'd go do the workout. I wouldn't record the workout part. At some point during the challenge, I started doing a time lapse of the workout with my phone and just kind of including that with video editing. So I had the initial part, the time lapse of the workout, and then this post workout where I literally, as the workout was done, I would go sit down in front of the camera, sweat and all, and just talk about what the experience was. Many times it was good. And I will tell you that the experience of recording those and even being able to go back and watch them as the 60 days concluded, I did make it the full 60 days. I was like, man, that was pretty cool. And, you know, huge side note, I did lose the weight that I wanted to lose. I hit my goal number. But here's the piece that is relevant for the conversation. I ended up quitting YouTube after that. I was like, that's not going to be my thing. It was just way too much work. I had to set up the camera, put the SD card in, set up the lighting, make sure that I had the lapel mic set right. Sometimes I would record and it was just way too much work. I felt like it was like a quadratic equation. I was like, I left out the T. So nothing was coming out the other end. So I was like, man, if that's what content creation looks like, I want no parts of it. I recognized that coming back to content years later, as I was putting out there, what's going on, Dr. Oteng? As I was putting out there content about live streaming, because I'd gotten into broadcasting even while they're in South Africa, but even more when we moved here to Huntsville, big box broadcast setups. I mean, this is before any of these web-based streaming platforms or anything like Ecamm existed. We were doing production, right? And I remember getting into that stuff and then realizing how much you could do with these web-based streaming platforms, namely StreamYard. And I started to put out that content as well. And it occurred to me, right, that meant my first live stream was on a Chromebook with a webcam, right, using the built-in mic, and I had two desk lamps pointing the other way, Billy. Like not on me, but away, like bouncing the light off of the wall, just trying to be super ninja with it. And I was streaming to platforms, and I was actually able to record the video as well. And as I was putting up graphics and videos and bringing up comments all while live, kind of occurred to me that, when I'm done live streaming, the video is already done. I don't have to edit it. I don't have to pull it. I don't have to take the SD card out and put it on a timeline and an NLE. I don't know what your favorite one is. I'm really feeling DaVinci Resolve these days, but if I don't have to edit, and I really like that. And so one of the things that I find people often overlook is their streaming platform as the video production studio that you didn't know you had. It's still video editing, however, because you do have to do all the prep on the front end. So if I want B-roll, I've got to actually pre-record the B-roll so that I can bring it into the live to drive experience right at the time when I want it. And there is some practice you want to go through as well, but I tell you what, it drastically cut down the steps to publish. I found that I could churn out content, multiple videos a day, by utilizing these streaming platforms, whether it was Restream, whether it was EVMux, whether it was StreamYard, it could be Ecamm Live, which is what I'm using right now. I also spent some time working with others like Melanapp and BeLive. Yes, we've gone the gambit in terms of some of these platforms. I never used OBS, but there was some OBS derivatives that I did use once they started to get some things web-based. But I just realized, like, man, at the end of the day, if I can plan out my show correctly, if I set up my roadmap right, if I can follow those things, I end up with a end product that looks just as good as something that I edited. And you can literally set it up in a way that works a lot more natural to you. Is it less work? In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. But it always gives you the opportunity. I see some of you out here. Talks with 2K is with us. Canva plus AY Tools. Thank you so much. We're always excited to have you guys with us. I hope that you will join us over in Zoom. And to do that, you just got to join the group. You just got to join the group. I don't know, Florence, if you could put that link in the chat. I know you're doing something else, or David, or Tracy. It's so cool to be able to look this way and see my entire mod squad. But it's always good to see you guys. And I know several of you are actually members. You just maybe aren't in the group currently. One of the things that I want to say here in terms of the video recording studio that you didn't know you had, because it's all built into the platform, you can just connect your camera, microphone, make sure your lights are on, and you're good to go. Or you utilize whatever lights you have. You utilize the sunlight if that's all you have, or if you utilize a floodlight and just light up the room. Me pointing those lamps towards the white wall that was in front of me and bouncing that light also just flooded that light onto me and allowed for the camera to get a better picture. Streaming your streaming platform, or utilizing the live to drive methodology, is one of the ways that you can drastically cut down on the amount of time it takes to publish your videos. And if that helps you to be consistent, guess what? That's probably one of the best things you can do for yourself. There's multiple ways that you can record. But there's also some questions in terms of how do you leverage it in the best way? Well, that's going to take practice. It's going to take time. I tell you, the first time I tried to produce a video that I was going to do live to drive, I had to record it like 3 or 4 times. So that didn't feel like it was less work. But I can tell you now that being able to record a 10, 15-minute video with all the dynamics that I put in there, the pull-ins and the pull-outs, the B-roll, the dynamics, the videos, clips that I'll play, bringing up comments, whatever it is, and then being able to put that out there as a produced piece of content feels very good. And it is very much one of the number one questions I get people to ask when I have guests that come to this studio, the one that I'm sitting in now. Where is my other cameras? Let's make sure we can showcase the other cameras. I don't see the other cameras. Anyway, but when I have people come to the studio, I always have them record a clip. It's just like a requirement. If you come and say, hey, can I see the studio? Yeah, you can record it. You can see the studio, but you got to record something. And the reason why I have them do that is because when they sit in the chair, when they hit the record button, talk to the camera, which is a teleprompter, and they're looking at themselves, and then they hit the end button, and then I airdrop that video to their phone right then and there, and they realize, like, I could post this right now. Something happens every single time when they realize that this, or I should say, that was easy. That was something I could do that over again. I actually could probably churn out content. I wasn't even trying. One lady was like, can I record another? I was like, go ahead. She recorded 4 more videos. The 2 were wide. The other 2 were vertical, because with Ecamm, you can record vertical and you get both versions. That's another story for another time. She left with, I don't know, maybe 10 pieces of content, and I saw her posting them. And that's the point. My job, one of the things I love to do on this channel, is to help you find ways to truncate the time it takes for you to be able to get to the actual point. And the point isn't how to record or how to live stream. The point is the lives that you will impact when the content is out there. The people who were waiting on that solution, who needed to hear that story because it resonated with them, the people who need to hear it the way you say it because your audience is specifically for you. Your vibe attracts your tribe. I see Dr. Vibe in the Zoom room right now nodding his head. But the whole point is that's far more important than actually trying to become an expert in doing it the way that is supposed to be done. I had a guy say to me, he's like, man, I just like, having the SD card. I think it's just better quality. I'm not going to argue with him. You're going to get better quality if you record it straight into the camera. Then you got to take the SD card out. You got to plug it into your computer. You got to edit it on a timeline of some sort. You got to add in your dynamics. I want none of the above. This is not Hollywood. This is not Netflix. This isn't Hulu. This is not Peacock. I just want to put the video on YouTube or Instagram where people are going to be watching it majority of the time on their phone while sitting on the toilet. I'm not putting 5 hours of work into that video. I see my people laughing, but they know exactly what I'm talking about because that's where you watch my last video. And the point simply is, if we can cut down the amount of time it takes, if we can get rid of the friction so that your content can flow, you will be able to get to the main point. And the main point is the impact that you can have when you put content out there. And that's what I want to share with you today. I'm not going to stay long. I really can't actually, because I'm actually, I need to go back to my group here inside the Zoom room. I got to take questions from them. I got to be able to make sure that they are getting the help that they need, because they took the time to join the group. And that's one of the benefits of being in the group, is that I get to hear what they're working on and provide some assistance. I need to make some adjustments to this. Let's edit this thing real quick, and man, we got to give it a little shadow effect. That's cool. All right, so there we go. So for those that haven't seen it yet, the way to join the group is on screen. It is kirkarnugent.live/school. And man, I thought I saw somebody had posted the link. Did you guys post the link? Maybe you didn't get a chance to. Hold on. I'll just copy it right now. There's that, save that, and we'll put it. I think this is going to post in both places, but it should be okay. Yeah, here we go. So that's the link. I hope that you will join, because one of the benefits is that we get a chance to engage and have some of these questions. Thank you so much, Florence. You always on it. Now, normally there's a delay. So when I say it, then they they hear it when you guys hear it. But because she's in Zoom, she's hearing it in real time. Like there's no delay where she's at right now. I'm just pausing here right now to see if there are any questions. Anything that you have in your own setup, in your own content workflow that you would like to refine, that you find to be a friction point that is not causing you to say, that was easy, let me do it again. Anytime you walk away from your process and you're saying, that was a lot more difficult than I would have liked it to be. Man, I'm going to have to pause and try and get a couple of things situated so that the next time I record, I'm not as frazzled, or it doesn't feel as laborious. Anything that causes, anytime you walk away from an experience where you're feeling that way, you really want to take a stock of what it was that made it that way. Do the audit, if you will, to really figure out why did it feel that way, so that you can have that transformation. Doc Vibe has his hand up in the Zoom room. What's up, man? Oh, hold on.
Family is good, most importantly.
I didn't hear you. Sorry, say it one more time.
I just saying, hope your family is fine. That's the most important thing. That's the key.
They are. All right. They are fine for sure.
Good question. So question, say I do a live stream and during it, there's some questionable language that's being used. I don't like to have questionable language when I put out a live.
Okay.
Is it best to edit it and leave it on the platform, or is it best to edit and just create a new version of the live stream?
Oh, I see your point. So it was a guest, an on-screen guest?
Well, okay, so I'll give you a real life example. There's one of the shows I do. There's two ladies who give their take, trying to make a sense out of the nonsense that's going on in America.
Mercy.
That's enough said. We'll leave it there,
Leave
right?
it there. Let's leave it there.
So during their live conversation,
Hey, Tracy,
sometimes the conversation gets
sorry, 1 second, Doc. Vibe. Tracy, our president is over in your neck of the woods right now, causing a little bit, just a little bit of a stir.
Sorry, I don't want to get
I'll
pulled.
leave it alone.
Okay, we'll leave that alone. All
Okay.
right. So after they're finished, I edit. So I'm saying, okay, should I edit? I edit it. My question is,
No,
should I delete the original version that's in YouTube that already probably has some views, or should I put a edited version out separately?
So I to confirm, it is indeed. This is not comments.
No,
in the
this
chat.
is these are the hosts, not the comments. It's actually
Okay.
the hosts who are making comments live.
I think it's like 2 steps before. Yeah, I would tell them, guys, let's try to cut down or eliminate the
Okay.
because you are going to lose momentum on that video that you take down or replace it with yeah. I'm trying to think of I'm also trying
Edited version.
well, no, I'm thinking in my head of different other strategies that you could possibly employ to. I mean, you could use YouTube to clip out those pieces, but then that piece is clipped out, and then it does. I don't know if the whole thing still flows.
Yeah.
So yeah,
See, okay.
editing it would be the only way to get rid of it completely. But I think to solve the problem from here going forward would be to just say to your co-hosts, your on-screen guests. I mean, in your onboarding for any, people, I've been on your show. You guys have beautiful onboarding. I thought it was in there, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, I thought it was in there that, this is a family-friendly experience. We want everybody to be able to watch this, men and their kids, or it could be families. And so because of that, we want to stay away from any language that would be, wouldn't be you wouldn't want to have in front of them. I think everybody would understand that. I think your people would be amenable to that. At least I think so.
So the only caveat is this show's been running for 7 years, and it's sort of got a brand. So the audience that's in there has become. They know once in a while they may get some challenging language.
Understood. Yeah, and listen, it has happened to me, but I think I don't take it out. It has happened to me. Every now and again, if somebody will slip up, I don't do anything because my audience knows that's not me. That's not what I usually produce. Generally speaking, it won't be that way, and I may even apologize for their language live, just then and there, just so that it's already known. Like, this is not the norm.
Could I also then maybe do a disclaimer at the beginning of a live show?
Well, I mean, if you know that your guests are gonna you speak that way, I think it's actually I think you owe it to your audience to do the disclaimer.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Because that, if I do that, it would save me doing that editing after it's done.
Yeah, no. I think the editing, you're gonna lose so much. You lose the live comments when you edit it. When you trim a video, and this is why I went away from doing any I went away from doing the countdown clocks, because even when you trim the video to take off of it the countdown, you lose all the live comment replay. You lose that, and then there's a number of other things that just don't happen anymore because the benefit that you're experiencing, you kind of almost don't. I mean, you almost would want to. You almost would be better off having the conversation produced, not live, and then publish it after having edited out those pieces so that it represents, if you wanted it to be that way. But I think the benefit of having that live conversation, like right now, I can look in the chat and see, it's Florence and V Team Paranormal are having, just greeting one another back and forth. I think that there's just so much benefit to that kind of experience than doing anything else. So Yeah, I think the disclaimer is best. Anybody else have any ideas on that? Billy,
Yeah,
Florence,
no,
anybody else
thank you.
want to chime
No,
in there?
I appreciate you. You've given
But
me some thought because
absolutely,
if I just do the disclaimer, I don't have to do any editing when it's done.
yeah. Do the
And
disclaimer,
I get my time back.
bro. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's that part of it, because I could just see the heavy lift. That's actually what I could see on your face the whole time
Yeah,
was,
fun.
man, having to edit that video. I don't want to do that. And I'm gonna be honest. Who here? I am just not. I don't want to edit video. I am a media professional who does not want to edit video. I don't want to edit it. And so, if any way that we can do that and make that work is absolutely something that I resonate with. I see several, hand emojis going up. Folks are just kind of responding, but I think that what you said at the end there, that's exactly the path forward. I think that's definitely the path forward. Yes,
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely, man. Anybody else? Any other questions? And of course, I want to go over to, let's see here. Making sure I'm just refreshing my screen on, on school to make sure that people haven't joined and I'm not, I'm not seeing them. So, but I'm in school right now and I haven't seen anybody join. So, but I think several of you who are in the chat, you're already members in the school community. We just would love to have you come and hang out with us online. Any other questions?
I got another one if no one wants to ask.
Come on with it. I'm looking around.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How much are you using AI in your workflow?
I am. I don't know if I could give it a percentage. This is a great question. So let me just type it up real quick so I can put it on screen. You using AI in your workflow, and listen, I'm going to answer it, but I would love for everybody else to kind of share in the chat what your answer to that is as well. How much are you using AI in your workflow? So I use it for chapters, right? From, even for my live streams. So chapters, definitely. Oh, I hate doing chapters. In order to do oh gosh, oh man, that saved me an entire VA. Like AI being able to go through and give me chapter markers. Now, I do believe in AI giving us a launch pad, so I don't have to start from a blank slate. So there are times where I'll use, I love that frog, Tracy. There are times where I use AI to give me the chapter markers, but then when I look at the chapter markers, they're not quite, they're the right timestamps, but the names are not quite what I would want them to be. And you want to make sure you are optimizing that because your chapter markers are also indexed, meaning that they are part of what the algorithm can search for. So you want to be careful, own that process. Don't just outsource it to AI and then say, well, that's what AI said, so I figured it was better than anything I can come up with. No, AI is basing it off of what it thinks is best, but you know what the call words are, the search engine optimization stuff, the tags that you want to be known for. So you want to make sure that those buzzwords and phrases are there. And especially you want to make sure that spelling is correct. So I use AI for chapter markers. I use AI to give me some ideas for a title, but I use AI to give me ideas for the title before I record. I do believe that you want to have a title before you record your content, whether it's a live show or it's a thing. So I'll give you an example if I can find it real quick. I just finished recording a podcast. I had a major guest that I didn't think would be even possible for me to get. He came in to the studio today. We had this podcast episode recorded. And so I was trying to come up with the questions I came up with a set of questions and I gave those questions and the guest's name and their profile. So a lot of context to AI. And that is and it came back with a number of topic ideas, and what we settled on was this one. So let me read it to you real quick here. From sermon to strategy, the content model of a modern pastor. Now, that title accurately grabs a lot of the things that we were going to talk about in that episode. But saying it when we were recording gave everyone, my co-host and the guest, a base of what we were going to talk about. In fact, he mentioned it, my co-host mentioned it, I mentioned it multiple times throughout the recording. And what it does when you're able to say that ahead right there in terms of packaging, I'm getting way off of the AI path, but I'm saying AI helped me to find verbiage. And it even, the content model of a modern pastor, I love that it gave that little, sub headline, right? From sermon to strategy, the content model for a modern pastor. So it's just so relatable. It really will have impact to the click-through rate and how long people will stay, because there's not a bait and switch. I'm giving the algorithm exactly what it is. That content is in, that phrase is actually said in the video, and I'm going to give it a thumbnail that's going to work alongside it as well. So I do use AI definitely for those two. Description as well. I definitely try to use AI for that. I use AI for some of my clips, but I also, I use AI to give me the points in the video that would be a good clip, not so much to do the full edit. So I think that's the majority of how I'm using AI. I do send out 1 or 2 emails to my mailing list a week. I try to make those emails from Kirk, right? I type those up, put them in a note document, and the team grabs it, puts it into email and sends it out to the mailing list. So that's not AI, but exactly. Demolition News, AI will never deliver Kirk level authenticity. Come on, Demolition News. I don't know if you saw the link that's on the screen or in the description, but I hope that you can join us in the community. It is there, kirkandrews.live/school. I would love for you to be able to join. You've been somebody that's followed and has always comes through and shares the impact that that my content has had with you. So I would love for you to come and share. But yeah, I hope that answers the question, Doc Vibe. I'm thinking through some of the other things that I do currently in my creator process, but I think those are really the main ones. How I'm getting my shorts, the title, description, and title, description, chapters. I knew there was one other thing. Those are the major areas where AI has really come and helped. And I guess for some, ideas as well. I have a long list of ideas for content. I'm actually I've got like almost 13 video titles that I'm working on for StreamYard, because they just released so many features. And so I don't just want to call the video the title, the feature, a title of the feature. I want to talk about what that feature is and what it provides. You know what I'm saying? So those are pieces. Oh man, I probably didn't see your hand, Tracy. So go ahead. Yeah. Come off mute. Let's hear what you got.
I think, look, it's because it's against my curtains.
I see it now, but I didn't see it earlier. You're right.
That's why I was the frog up earlier. I just thought it's funny. I use AI a lot. There's a couple of people here who don't know me, so I'll just very quickly say,
please.
I've got a craft channel, and it is resin crafts. It's well and truly monetized. It is pretty much my full-time income now, and another channel that I'm just developing. Now, I use AI quite a lot, and I'm hoping to use live streaming more as time goes on as well, because I'm going to get a little studio in the garden at some point. Might be a few months yet. It's going to be a few months yet, but it's in the pipeline. But coming. Yeah, the way I use AI is probably very different to what you do, Kirk. So I thought I could chip in a bit here.
Please.
I've been writing myself a list.
I love it.
First of all, I have created a custom GPT. So I've told it all about myself, all about my channels, all about who I want, what experts I want to use as my point of reference. So people like Kirk and a few others. And I've told it the way I like to do things, my tone, all of that sort of thing. And obviously it's gone and had a look at my channels as well, because ChatGPT can do that now. it can search the internet properly. So what I now have it do for me is sometimes it can just run ideas. I think we all use it probably for that. Titles and thumbnails and descriptions, it can do that quite easily because you can upload the video, just leave it unlisted and say, go and have a look at this video, what do you reckon? So that's easy. I've also had it compare two videos to see why one's done better than another. And that's been useful. I think we've talked about that before, haven't we, Kirk, with various softwares.
Yeah, to compare.
But the other thing, yeah,
but
the other thing I've started
analysis. Yep.
Yeah, the other thing I've started using it for recently is I've started getting approaches by other suppliers of craft materials and so on, and I've made a couple of contacts through the YouTuber crafting world who are a lot more business savvy than me, and they're actually getting paid for making the videos, not just in terms of sending them the materials to use for free. So I've had a couple of these sort of emails come through, and I've thought, right, I'm going to start asking them for money as well. Nothing substantial, and only if it's a bespoke video for their product. If it's just to slip it somewhere into one of your other videos, I'm not too worried about that. But if it's a bespoke extra video for that product, I'm going to start asking them for a proper paid contribution.
As you should.
So it was how to word it, because I'm not used to having to do this, and it felt really cheeky, and I tend to waffle, as you probably noticed. And so I told it what I was.
Never.
Who, me? Anyway, so I told it what I was trying to say, and I turned the voice on and had a good chat with it and explained what my dilemma was and everything. And it churned out this little piece for me that I can use as a template every time. And it still sounds like me, just better. And so I've sent that and had to two so far, waiting for a response from one. The other one's really positive. I said, let's do a tester first so you can see what I can do for you. Thereafter, this would be my normal terms. And it's just written it in a real sort of natural, matter-of-fact way. It's really good. So it's been doing that for me when I'm trying to get some wording sorted. That's been an absolute godsend, because that's something I've always had problems with.
My wife has been using it in that way as well. She's, for email copy to different entities and brands. You want it to have it's still your voice, and this is I think the critical piece that you just shared right there is that you gave it a ton of context. I mean, you turned on the voice mode and you had a full conversation because you wanted to represent you well. The other thing is, even when it spit out something, you still have creative authority essentially to take out some pieces. You get a chance to read it. It's not doing anything on its own. And I think that's the best way. I saw somebody else in the chat saying something about a little bit afraid of using AI. The rule of thumb that I have done anytime I've done any training where AI is concerned is to remind people that you still are the owner of what you put out. Yeah. Even if you may use AI to give you context, but you may still want to check that context to ensure that it is scratching where you're itching, right? It's doing the job that you actually set it up to do.
That's right.
One other quick side note. I don't know if Demolition knows if you're still with us, but he just shared that he just wrote an article about his 1,000th live show. I just wanted to congratulate you on that, Demolition News. I'm excited to see it. I hope that I know you have my email address, so I'm excited to see when you know you're going to send it to me. I'm excited to see that. I'm humbled and honored that you're going to mention me in there, but I know that our stories have been intertwined for such a long time. That's another reason why I would love for you to join the community, and you can see that link is on screen. That's what Florence has typed. But yeah, continue, Tracy, in terms of some of the other ways that you're using AI.
Well, AI is like anything else. It's as good as the information you give it.
Absolutely.
So in giving it the expert references that resonate with me, people's style, really cool I appreciate. Piece. It is. So I've got Brian Johnson, I've got Nick Nimmin, but there are some that are very, very big names in the world of YouTube, but it's not my style, even though they're very good. It's just not my style. And so I've left those out, for example. So I've given it those points of reference. I talk to it a lot because I'm sad and lonely. But apart from that, it's got to know me. And so it's and it learns because it remembers properly now. It's learning, and it remembers things I've done, things I've said. It cross-refers to other videos I've made,
Yeah.
as well as other people's words of what other people might suggest, and it's all about the fact that it's got to know me. So when it churns something out, it does sound like me, but better.
That's
The
so
other
awesome.
thing I've been using it for is actually for content. Now, it's a craft channel. Obviously, I'm not going to do an AI video. I never want to do a whole AI video. But sometimes for bits of B-roll, or if I just want an image or music, I don't use music from anywhere else anymore. It's all produced in Suno.
Yeah.
And again, it's as good as the prompt you give it.
That you give it, right?
A lot of channels, you can tell that's AI music. But the stuff I'm using, occasionally I use one that's really obviously AI, just for a bit of fun. But on the whole, I'm finding don't have lyrics, just instrumental.
Yes.
Because it's harder to tell it's AI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if you prompt it well, simple, but well. So I'm telling it things like I want a 1980s British Birmingham-based reggae band.
Come on.
And I'm getting something that sounds like an instrumental
Come
by
on with the
UB40.
reggae, man. Let's go.
I'm like,
Love
reggae
that.
is useful for everything. Nobody
Yeah,
objects
it
to
is.
reggae. It's just
you find no
chilled. It's so
arguments
nice.
here.
Yeah, so I'm putting it over car videos. I'm putting it over craft videos. I've done some comedy, spooky horror film, cartoony type music for the Halloween stuff. Mid-Journey, you can now put in and get an image out of it, and it'll animate it, and you get about a 3 or 4 second clip of your little cartoon or whatever you've told it to prompt. Doing a dance, so I've got dancing pumpkins. I mean, all these things I used to have to pay for separately, but I'm just using AI. Granted, I have got paid versions of Suno, ChatGPT, and Mid-Journey.
And
But even without those, you can do quite a lot.
Yeah, you. But I think the other
Absolute
thing
ton of
that's really
content.
what's really great also is that you've created your own custom GPT, which a lot of people,
That's the biggie.
I think that's a major piece that is missing from the puzzle
really
for so
easy
many,
too.
because you really get a chance to train it. It will know you. It retains the context that you've given it previously. So you're not starting the conversation over. You're able to kind of continue that conversation as you are doing certain things. That's a really big point.
It's massive. Since it started remembering, that's actually quite recent. I think it's only in the last few months.
Right.
That's made a biggie, and it does seem to it tunes into people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I if I switch on the voice, it says, "Oh, have you released the video on such and such yet? How did it go?"
Get out of here. That is awesome.
Yeah, I know. It's
like a
kind
friend.
of it's a bit kind of creepy.
That's a bit creepy.
But it is. It's great because I'll say then, "Oh, yeah, I have. Could you have a look at it for me? Hang on, I'll paste you the link. Could you have a look? Because I've got a bit of a drop off in the first few seconds. I'm thinking of lopping off the first couple of seconds of what I say. What do you think?" And it'll go and have a look. And it'll say, no, leave it. Just give it a chance. I think you need that pause at the start, or that little bit of humour at the start, or whatever it is.
Wow.
It can, yeah. But it's not the way I
it's like a member
think.
of the team, really.
It is, and it's actually ridiculously easy to set up that custom GPT.
Yeah, a lot of people hear the term custom GPT and they're like, "Whoa, I don't know if I can do that."
I just sat and talked to it, gave it a few links. Honestly, if you ever want me to explain it on one of for the group, more than happy to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we should absolutely do that. And again, this is another reason for my online family for you to join the group, because that kind of content, you're not going to find it on YouTube. You're going to find it inside the community. You're going to find it inside of the school group. There's a different way that we can engage there that I'm absolutely excited about, and I think that it will benefit you if you're there. Now, I do want to close out here online while I go back and close out our session in the community group. So for those of you who have been with us, I want to say a word of thanks. You've been rocking with us today. You came. Maybe some of you got a chance to hear the story about the content studio or video recording studio that you didn't know you had, and it's essentially your streaming platform. However you're streaming, it could double as a studio if you let it. And of course, if that works for you, the whole point is finding ways to reduce those hurdles, that feeling, that gut feeling that says, man, that was hard. I don't know if I can do that again. Figure out ways that you can reduce that so that you can come away saying, man, that was easy. Man, I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to do that again this evening. I'm going to do that again tomorrow. Figure out ways that you can incorporate that into your workflow makes it so much more likely that you'll be consistent in creating the content. And some of that's going to do with AI. Some of that's going to mean, maybe a disclaimer like we talked about with Dr. Vibe, or maybe it's going to mean kind of coming up with your own process and workflow that enables you to bring content to life without a heavy lift, that you can leverage video naturally. That's what I'm all about. I do want you to join the group. You can see that link right here. It's going to be in the description. And when the video goes into replay, I'm going to comment underneath the video with that link as well, because I definitely want you to join. I want to make sure your voices are heard in the community, and there's just so much more resources that I can share there. Hope that you'll tune back in again next time when we come together for the Coaching Corner. It's the middle of the week, and it's just a great time to just take a pause, recalibrate, refresh, and then just hear some words of encouragement from somebody who is in your corner and wants to see you win. Grace and peace, fam. We'll see you in the next one.